I'm Olga Merediz, and you're listening to You Might Know Her From with Ann and Damien.
Folks, we're back for another episode of You Might Know Her From
with Ann and Damien.
Hello and welcome. If you are new to the show, this is our show where we, longtime best friends, collaborators, and actress enthusiasts meet every week, where we talk about what we're into pop culture wise, what we hate more often than not, how our bodies are aging in this dreadful world that we live in. And then, of course, we always talk to a female actor, a woman actor in each episode. So hello and welcome if you're new. And if you're returning, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Damien, it's so nice to have you back in my house. As we said, I think last week, we are trying to record these in person because that's really when the juices get flowing. And I know that we're really cooking with gas when Damien's like, I gotta walk. So I'm like with the laptop or a pen and paper, or I've got the soundboard, and Damien's just like walking through the apartment, sipping on tea, chitting and chatting.
My zodiac, my horoscope today told me, actually it's very, I'm not going to get into too many details, but it was very ominous based on things that I had already been telling you. It said decision, like make a decision today.
Oh my God.
And it said before midnight, make a decision. It also said no pacing. And I was like, okay, this means like pacing, like no, like following a slow pace, pacing something like a relationship or something. But then I was chatting with my friend Jonathan, and he was like, no, it's like no walking. Like you're always walking and talking. And I was like, well, I'm going to do that.
That's who I am.
I'm not listening
take that away from me.
I'm not listening to Co-Star about that. I will continue to walk in place and yap, because you told me it's because I'm a what learner?
A kinetic learner, I think?
Yeah, I need to move my body. Yeah. It feels like it's a good.
And I think I have to, in order to really absorb something into my brain, I have to write it down. And whether that's like typing it, it's better if I write it. And I have found that to be true. And honestly, after rewatching clips of the Cat's Eye documentary and then watching Emily, spoiler alert, Emily manifest.
Popstar Academy.
Popstar Academy, yes. Emily manifesting in her journal. And she's so talented. That girl is so talented. But she wrote, I will get it. The CEOs will love me most. The CEOs will love me most. The CEOs will love me most, over and over and over. And I was like, maybe she is what is the word if you're a person who learns by writing? Yeah. Anyway, I'm like debating.
But then she didn't get it.
She didn't get it. That's what I'm saying is I'm like, but she really has.
But Hybe is starting a new girl group and she's in it.
Yeah. And honestly, she deserves it.
She manifested it.
She's wonderful. And what you think is intended for you is not always intended for you. I don't know that I actually believe that. But the point is, I'm at that point in my life where I'm grasping at straws. So if it's manifesting, if it's writing down, however we learn. Anyway, I interrupted you. But
no. I mean, I'm all into it. And we were just talking about zodiacs, and you were like, why do people say that they're into astrology and not into zodiacs? So we were talking about that, and it's something we get into this week. But I feel like part of why our partnership works well is that you are a Libra and I am an Aquarius. Now, what does any of that mean? Anything? I don't know, but it is like we are both air signs, and I feel like we are both have like big emotions. I don't know if those are connected to our zodiacs, but I feel like we do have a good understanding. Mm-hmm. We do have a good flow.
We have a good yin and yang.
Yeah, totally. Which is interesting because we were talking also about there was a moment in time when we briefly considered moving in together.
Yes.
That you had a roommate that moved out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had a vacancy. And I think I was I out of
You were moving out of your
sublet in that same building? Was that what the timing was?
Yeah, I think so.
So I was living in the same building as you at a sublet. I don't remember if I was going through a breakup at that point or not, but maybe. And I needed somewhere to move. And we considered me moving in with you. And then for reasons we're not going to get into on the podcast, it didn't happen. Not drama between us, but just like other outside things. And I was saying like, well, maybe that was a good thing that like it didn't happen, because maybe we would have like found things to be irritated by. Like, I don't feel like you're like not a friend that I feel like I usually have any strife or conflict with. I feel like we're right?
Yeah, I agree. And like we've maintained, and I feel like we both know that like the work that we do together here, we try to keep somewhat separate from our like friendship and make sure that there's clear delineations between those things, which I think has been really healthy for maintaining both like a real friendship in real life where like you are my confidant, and also a like professional relationship where we don't want to kill one another. It's great.
Completely. So I don't know. We get a little bit into that in this week's actress interview, a little bit about our astrology of it all. But I do think it is, at least in part, I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that we're both air signs and flow together so well. So, I mean, this week's interview, it was a really fun one.
Yeah, it was. I feel like it was written in the stars. And I feel like sitting down with the Olga Merediz was such a thrill because she has this sort of like long, huge scope of a career that is really exciting to discuss, particularly when we get into the human comedy, which holds a very special place in both of Damien and I's hearts. But she was also just so real in discovering this piece about the documentary that she built for herself and is getting distribution, hopefully. Like, she is just so funny, so real, and also incredibly talented. It's just nice when you sit down with somebody who seems to have like a good grasp on life and their career and takes it seriously, but doesn't take it all too seriously.
Totally. You might know her from In the Heights,
Encanto,
Blockbuster,
Eternity,
Evita,
Music of the Heart,
Mr. Popper's Penguins,
Orange is the New Black,
and the original Broadway company of The Human Comedy.
We are so thrilled to be here with none other than Tony-nominated actor and singer Olga Merediz. Olga, welcome to You Might Know Her From.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
We're so excited to talk to you, and we have a lot to get into in terms of like film, TV, theater credits. But we wanted to start off with the fact that we're excited to discover a project of yours that was new to us.
Oh.
And that was the documentary film that you produced in 2022 called My Two Moms, A Story of Separation. So for those of you that aren't familiar, this documentary explored your childhood in Cuba and documented how your family fled to the United States during the revolution. And I just found it to be such a beautiful portrait of you reconnecting with your childhood caretaker, Magdalena, who remained in Cuba, and your biological mother, who of course faced enormous loss by leaving her native country.
I can't believe how well you've described that.
It really was just such a pleasure to watch, and we're so excited to talk to you about it.
My gosh. Well, thank you. It just came out of me like in one fell swoop. And I actually went to Cuba to film her, and I hadn't seen her in over 50 years. And it was as if I had seen her the week before. That's how connected we were, and we still are. I sent her care packages and everything. And it was just very thrilling to be able to capture her on video and reconnect and talk about how important caretakers are, and also delve into my biological mother that I had a lot of problems with. And I did a comparison kind of between them. But at the end, I realized that I had gotten a lot of wonderful things from my biological mother. But I had to go through that journey to discover that.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Such a beautiful portrait of like these two, mother figures in your life. Do you know when you wanted and realized that this was a story that you wanted to tell sort of publicly, as opposed to something that you wanted to do for yourself? And was it always something that you wanted to put on film? Because there's a lot of raw moments that you capture on film of you with your biological mother, with Magdalena.
It happened so fast. And I always had, I was always sending her care packages. I was always writing letters. We were writing letters. And then all of a sudden, I realized my mother is very elderly, and so is she, even though she's a younger than my mother. I said, I have to do this, and I have to do this now, yesterday. So it was really hard to do all the paperwork and everything. And I just realized I have to hurry up and get these women on film and do this project. And I really didn't know what was going to come out. It was just kind of going there, reacquainting myself with her, asking her all these questions. And then the documentary kind of, it expressed itself, I just put one foot in front of the other, and I got, a film, a story.
And you did some film festivals, and we were able to see it online. Is there like a potential for future distribution so that more people will be able to see it more widely?
Well, I am literally, as we speak, waiting to hear from an independent film company to see if they want to pick it up. I would like it to be somewhere instead of just Vimeo or YouTube.
Right.
And I'm still working on it. Just send it to Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Love it. Good.
Yeah, good.
Hopefully he'll have a little bit of time because he's so busy.
Right. Make him pull those
Watch.
strings. We need it to happen. And again, if people can find a way to see it, again, it's called My Two Moms: A Story of Separation. I can't wait for it to get a wider release. It's a beautiful
Thank
film.
you so much.
Yeah, of course. So at the time of this recording, we've yet to see this upcoming rom-com fantasy called Eternity with you, Miles Teller, Elizabeth Olsen, former guest of this show, the great Davine Joy Randolph, and fellow theater star Betty Buckley. What can you tease, if anything, about this movie or your role in it?
It is an afterlife rom-com.
Yeah.
And working with these actors was, I mean, we had a ball. Because we're all dead. And I had to remind them, you're dead. So
they're as if, yeah.
Yeah, I loved working with this Irish director, David Frayne. He was just a joy and really easy to work with. I have a lot of scenes with Elizabeth Olsen. I play her cousin.
Okay.
And so we had a lot of scenes together. We're both Aquariuses, so we're both kind of kooky.
Me too.
Oh, there you go. So we Aquariuses kind of just go, boom. We bonded really quickly. And we were shooting in Canada. So, what's bad about that? Vancouver.
Nice.
Vancouver in the summer. Beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't want to shoot there in the winter, which I shot Blockbuster in the winter, and I was suicidal, basically. I wanted to jump off the terrace. I didn't, though, thank God. But what can I tease? I'm not really allowed to say much. My character, her name is Karen, and she is, I think, one of my favorite characters that I've ever done.
Well, I feel like that's big.
Yeah. And she loves wearing caftans.
Love a caftan loving person.
Yeah.
Because since she's dead, she can wear whatever she wants now, And what else can I say? That's about it, guys.
Well, we're excited to see it nonetheless. And
it looks very charming.
Like it.
Yeah, can't wait. I would be remiss if I didn't say Anne was a Libra, which I feel like is good energy for Aquarians. Like
Us.
I feel like it's why our partnership and friendship works so well. So I wanted you to know that, so you knew she was good people.
Love Libras.
Yes.
Okay, Damien, thank you so much for putting in a kind word. This is good. Yeah, Damien keeps me up to date. I feel like I should know more about astrology than I do because Libra is actually my middle name. But I just had some parents that were in a hippy dippy moment.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
I understand.
you get it.
You have your own journey. You have your own My Two Moms: A Story of Separation.
Exactly. But Damien is always like, this is why we work so well together. Anyway, yeah, love a Libra too. Yeah.
Okay, Olga. You have the distinction of originating the role of Abuela Claudia in the musical In the Heights and playing her for nearly 15 years in different iterations. First in the 2007 off-Broadway production, then moving her to Broadway, and ultimately you reprised your role in the 2021 film adaptation. How much did Claudia the character change over the course of your time with the musical?
Since I originated the role and she was so ingrained in me, she didn't really change that much. She just, the mediums changed. As you know, theater, you have to, project to the last row, and then film is very intimate. And then there were a few changes for the movie, where you actually see her in, dying. In the movie, they showed a little bit more how religious she was. They went into her life a little bit deeper, I think, in the movie, whereas the play, they couldn't as much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty amazing that you originated this role in 2007 and then got to play her in the
miracle. It's a miracle.
It's so beautiful.
So great.
Can you talk to us about what age makeup was maybe used back in 2007? Because you literally in your life aged with this character. So what was it like in 2007 when you were, in your mid to mid 40s playing Abuela, and then you got to play her 15 years later again on screen?
I was, I think, 51, I think.
Okay.
Around 50. I'm 50.
I mean,
around there.
Yeah.
And I would just do I would basically do no makeup.
Yeah.
Nothing. And just put the wig, the wig and the schmata.
You weren't
on it.
doing like me doing Horace Vandergelder in high school, like drawing a black line and then a white line to highlight it.
No, I did do that in high school. No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that because all the other ladies were so made up
Yeah.
and, that I just used nothing. I just used my walk
Yeah.
and the wig did the heavy duty lifting.
I have to say, I sadly didn't get to see In the Heights on stage, but your performance in the film is it's beautiful. It's so special that you got to transfer it to the film. So I'm so happy that happened. I really think you're the standout of the film. So it's a beautiful
Thank
performance,
you.
and I'm so happy it has been captured forever now.
Yeah, I mean, that role, it's so interesting. I would get very, very anxious when I was doing it on stage because I never wanted to, Broadway's brutal. It's hard. You're so tired. Your body's tired. Your voice is tired. You're tired mentally. 8 shows a week is not easy, especially as you get older. And I never wanted to just phone it in, and the role is so meaningful to me that it would just come from like the bottom of my freaking soul,
Yeah.
And I always had to kind of contain the emotion. And I think that's one of the reasons it was so powerful for people too, to watch it. Because I always had to kind of keep the emotion at bay and be able to sing, which is almost impossible to do that. So, and then when I got the nomination for the Tony, I was like, oh my God, people are coming and they're expecting a Tony nominated performance. So I got so anxious as the as the run went along, because I didn't want to disappoint anybody, and I really wanted to give them all I had to give, but I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to note that I have not been on stage since that show.
Is that by choice, or do you feel like that?
By choice.
Yes, because it was just so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And believe me, I was supposed to be on so many shows, I can't mention them.
We'll find out offline.
And I turned them all down.
Yeah. I mean, this is what people say. Like you said, it's a marathon. It really is. You have to be up for it. Did you live like a monk while you were doing it? That's what people say. You really have to just sort of cut yourself off from the rest of. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to, for your voice and your body. You just can't. You can't go out drinking. You can't eat late. You can't party. You can't. You have to, and then you have to do the acupuncture, the chiropractic, the massage. It's like being an athlete.
Right.
Yeah. God, I would be so bad at it.
That's why we do what we do here. So one of the things I love about the film is that it immortalized the 191st Street 1 train tunnel with your song, of course, Paciencia y Fe. This really is obviously your song. It's such an important piece. It's the heart of the show. It's sort of the essence line of the show. Can you talk about what your reaction was, like what you received while you were shooting this beautiful scene on location in Washington Heights? Like, what was that experience?
That song took 3 days, 3 locations, and the tunnel, that last bit was the tunnel, and that was a night shoot. They picked me up at 5. I got home at 7:30 in the morning. Tired just thinking of it, and I was belting all night and all morning because you record it and you sing it live, and then they pick and choose what they want.
Okay.
But I had like Melissa Barrera and several of the cast members. They wanted to be there and watch it, and then just shooting in that tunnel was just surreal at that time of night and morning. But I, again, with this character and this song, it's almost like I start singing that song and I'm like in a zone almost. I get into this, can't explain it, into the zone, which was difficult in the movie because, you have to take it in chunks and you have to stop and start. So you keep that, going, but since I did it so many times, I knew exactly where I was emotionally on every single line. So I could do the movie that way with that stops and starts. I think it was one of the happiest days, and I felt like a huge accomplishment to be able to not only do this number, from stage to screen, but that I was able to survive the night shoot.
Yeah. No small feat.
That song, which is vocally difficult and emotionally difficult.
Well, it's really beautiful, and it makes me very happy. Also because that tunnel has changed since then. So I'm glad that it was immortalized on film.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah.
So you have a very long theatrical career in New York City. You've done musical comedy. You were Rosie in Mamma Mia. You were also Madame Thénardier in Les Miserables. Yeah. These are both dream roles for us, like theoretically, because we love broad physical comedy. We love pithy lyrics. In the Heights, as we just discussed, there's so much emotional weight to your role and your big number. Is there something freeing about getting in and just kind of doing physical bits and stealing the show?
Yeah, I love that.
Are there any theatrical roles on your bucket list that you're I have to do this at some point?
Oh.
You'd be a great Dolly Levi because you have the depth, but you're funny.
You stole the thought from my head. Are you a psychic?
Maybe. I am an empath as an Aquarius. You know this.
That's right. That's the only role I think I would go back to the theater and do.
You're really funny, but you have the dramatic chops and you can sing. So I feel like it would be kind of great for you.
I would love that. It's a delicious role. I did it in high school.
Were you Dolly in high school?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yes. And I absolutely loved it. And I think the only role I would do. I can't believe you guessed it.
It's of every woman, every Broadway star, every theater actress who can sing somewhat. I feel like it's the Hamlet or the Othello of the musical. One of them, right? It's that Rose, Mama Rose, Dolly, and maybe Mame. It's they feel like rites of passage for theatrical actresses.
Yes, and I think that role I could also get in the zone, like I did with Abuela Claudia, But I don't think they would give it to me on Broadway. I might be doing the Rockville Dinner Theater.
I'll come see it. I'll come see it wherever you're doing it. So while we're on the theater track, I really need to get this in. So just bear with me. It's a little bit kooky. So you made your Broadway debut in the original production of the human comedy written by William Dumoresque and Galt McDermott. You're showing us the poster behind you. Bless. I'm obsessed with this show. One, because it is a famous Broadway flop that closed after 10 performances, but also two, because my college, where Anne also went to college, they did a quote unquote New York revival of it in 2003 at Marymount Manhattan. And a lot of our close friends were in the production. So it's it is inside jokes and lots of references to it. So your big moment is in the number I Let Him Kiss Me Once, where your character finds out that her son was killed at war, and your character, terribly and horribly named only Mexican woman, finds out her son was killed in action, and then she belts, "No, no, 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 Juanita, no." What do you remember about working on that production? And does it hold a special place in your heart because it was your Broadway debut?
Yes.
Sorry, it was a lot.
But what I loved about that show was that's where I met Donna Murphy, and she was the understudy.
What? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, wow.
Well, I would have asked her about it when we had her on the show. I didn't know.
Yes. And Galt McDermott was like this little angel munchkin. I can't even describe that man. He was like this angel, just so easygoing. I don't know if he was a hippie or he was just the nicest person. But what I will never forget about that show were the harmonies. Those harmonies.
There's a lot of good songs in it. Or, there's there's a handful of really good songs and those tight harmonies, especially in your number's part of that number with all of the girl group little harmonies.
Yes. And when you do a Broadway show, I hate to be frank, but get sick of the music after a while.
Yeah.
But you have to keep it fresh. You have to keep, you're in it, whatever. But I never got tired of this music. So I was very disappointed when it closed. It was a very intimate show and it never belonged on Broadway. It was, we were packed at the Public Theater.
Yeah.
And it should have stayed there.
Mhm.
Should have gone to a big stage, a big space, very intimate show. And I will always miss those beautiful harmonies. It just, it was heaven to be, singing that music and listening to it every night. I've never had that experience again.
Wow, that's huge.
With the music just like feeding you and just like,
Yeah. We're going to link out to that moment that Damien was talking about.
Yeah,
Because it really is
we were
thrilling.
listening
Even
today, and your belt is so fucking
insane.
good.
You listen to it today?
Yeah, you can stream it on Spotify. So I hope you got some money from me streaming it. But your belt sounds amazing.
That's awesome. I gave the music. Did I have it I think I had it in a cassette. I gave it to Lin-Manuel as a gift because he was like, "Oh my God, you did this show." He's a Broadway geek.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, what could I give him that would be special? And so I gave him the original music.
Okay, one of the things we were excited to find out was that you worked with John Cassavetes in this unproduced play about the life of Eugene O'Neill called Thornhill. It co-starred the great Ben Gazzara, Carol Kane, and Patti LuPone.
Yes.
Can you say what kind of theater director was John Cassavetes, and why do you think it really never made it to stage?
It was 4 hours long.
Oh.
Got it. Okay.
Screaming.
We would gather, all the actors, 10 a.m. We'd be there waiting. At like maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock, John Cassavetes would come in and go, "Come on, let's go. Let's go. Get on stage. Let's go." And we'd be like, "We've been here. What do you mean?"
Oh my God.
So I played a prostitute. I had to get up on top of Ben Gazzara, beat the shit out of him. And I was afraid to hit him. I was like, "Hey." And so he would go, "Come on, kid. Come on. You just really hit me." And then we'd have John Voight and Jenna Rollins and people coming in and watching rehearsals. It was a trip. But there was no way that I don't know. It just, we had all the incredible cast, but it just, I don't know what happened.
Did it feel more like an artistic exercise as opposed to like trying to get it to stage?
4 hours.
I mean, I love his films.
Yeah.
I love his films, but I was interested in what, he looked like as a theater director, since his films are, very specific as well.
Yes. I mean, I loved working with him.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was in some like independent film,
Yeah.
Theater. It was like theater, film, all mixed up and very kind of experimental, like you said.
Singular, which is cool. Like you get to say that I did this weird thing with John Cassavetes, even if it never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
Okay, so transitioning a little bit into your film work, which is, quite, you've done so much of it. You've popped up in like a very diverse collection of movies over the last 40 years with some extremely heavy hitting directors. So we're just going to name a few of them, and then we've got a question for you there. So here's a laundry list of these heavy hitters: Sidney Lumet, John Sayles, Robert Redford, of course, may he rest in peace, Derek Cianfrance, Sharon Maguire, John Chu, of course, Darren Aronofsky, Jerry Zaks, Reginald Hudlin, Mark Waters, James Lapine, Alan Parker, and Wes Craven. I'm sure there's probably some that we didn't name on that list, but could you tell us which of the film directors that you've worked with do you feel most played to your strengths and or maybe saw you clearly as an artist and actor?
It's a really good question. I think Alan Parker, Sidney Lumet, and I think those two.
Can you say why? So Sidney Lumet was for Q&A, which was, I believe, with Nick Nolte? No, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Nick Nolte.
Q&A, and then we did a TV series called 100 Center Street. There was just something so special about Sidney Lumet. I can't put my finger on it, but I loved him and he loved me. And I was so sad when he died.
Mhm.
He got the best performances from people because, you know, as you know, you probably know he shot the rehearsals, right?
Yeah.
You know that. Oh, you guys know everything.
Yeah. I mean,
I
he's
can't
real.
tell
He's
you do.
no. We want to talk to you. You're the person that's worked with these people. You know, we want to hear these stories from you, and also to see. It's always interesting to hear which of the directors really were directors, and who the actors connected with or felt like, you know, the director saw something in them instead of just seeing them sort of as a set piece.
That's right. I mean, there were so many of them, but there was something special about Sidney Lumet. He would make me laugh. He was funny.
Mm-hmm.
He appreciated humor, and he liked me, you know? And so that was something really special. And the fact that he used me a second time, you know, he just interviewed me, and he would just like, what are we going to do with this one? You know, what are we going to do with her? Isn't she adorable? You know, he was like that.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's just, you know, and then Derek Cianfrance, he comes from also an experimental background.
Right.
And he had us eat like a family in The Place Beyond the Pines, you know, shop like a family, you know, hang out like a family. And so I love the way he worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I love working with Ryan Gosling, who's so nice.
That's good to know. He's a movie star, and also, like, I've only heard good things about him, which is nice.
So nice. Well, he's
Yeah.
Canadian.
There you go. There you go.
And Robert Redford was also a doll, was a very sweet man. And I remember him, you know, between scenes, riding this white horse in you know, on the mountains of New Mexico. And I was like, am I really seeing this? I can't believe what I'm looking at, you know?
Right. It's like he's a parody of himself doing that. Like, who does that?
I know. And he would just call me, you're Olga, you're just a natural. You're a natural, whatever that means.
I love that.
And Alan Parker, they cut about 8 of my scenes in that movie.
Oh.
So I felt like I was like a glorified extra. When I watched the movie, I was like crying.
The movie being the 1996 adaptation of Evita, for our listeners, that Alan Parker directed. You played Bianca, one of her sisters.
One of her sisters. And I was shooting that movie for over 3 months in Hungary and Buenos Aires, in Argentina, in London. And Alan Parker wrote me a beautiful note saying, Olga, I loved your work. You did, you know, something like, you did brilliant work, but I'm so sorry we had to cut those scenes, and you know, a beautiful letter like that. And I'll never forget that. And I have a Madonna story.
Well, we want to hear, because I was going to ask you, I want to hear your Madonna story, because the next question was going to be like, obviously it's iconic that you are a musical theater star, a Tony nominee, and that you appear as one of Eva Perón's sisters in the film adaptation. And you're talking about, you know, like having dinners and shopping as a family in The Place Beyond the Pines. And I'm wondering, like, did you do familial things with Madonna to like create family chemistry as one of her sisters in that movie?
We did, but it wasn't for that purpose. We were just going out and partying.
Okay.
And
tell us it all.
Oh my God. Well, we would go out to dinner, and I'd take my purse out, like, you know, I wanted to contribute to pay, and, you know, the party of like 25 people. And Madonna was like, what are you going to pay for, Olga? The water? Or Olga's going to pay with her hair, with her black curly hair. Madonna was just so jaded. But no, we would go out because Buenos Aires is like, oh my God, have you ever been?
No.
Oh my God, you must go sometime. It is, those people come home from work at, I don't know, 5 o'clock, they take a nap, and then they go out until 4 a.m. To the discotheque, to the restaurants, to the everything. And we did all that, you know. And then there was a rumor that she and Antonio Banderas were together, which was not true, because Melanie Griffin?
Yeah, Griffith.
You got it, yeah.
They were, she was on set all the time, like, just, you know.
Oh my God.
her man. So when they left the restaurant, this restaurant that I was going to pay for,
I appreciate you. I do the same thing.
Yeah,
you know, when you're out with a
offer.
wealthy friend, you got to reach in. And even if you know they're going to do it, it's the classy thing to do.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so let's say Madonna left first, and then Antonio would have to wait like half an hour
Oh my
before
God.
he left, so that nothing would, no rumors would be stirred
So
up.
dramatic.
I have to say, I revisited the film and I feel like my memory as a kid was like, people were not kind to her, but I was like, she is really trying really hard in this movie. And I thought the movie was really enjoyable. Like, I was surprised that, I don't know, I thought it was really fun and I don't know. I don't know Evita super
I
well.
thought she did her best work.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
It's her best film work. I agree.
And it got done because of her.
Right. And that matters. Honestly, it matters.
really does.
Because remember, so many people tried to do the film, and
Yeah.
you probably know all the names.
I'm trying to remember, who did they have tapped in at a certain point? I don't remember.
Wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer one of the people?
Bill Pfeiffer, Barbara Streisand, who
Barbara,
else?
I love her for. She would have fought for it.
But Madonna got it done.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, she is such a hard worker. She was pulling in 15, 16-hour days, and she was pregnant at the
Oh
time.
my God.
And so I have tremendous admiration for her.
Excuse my naivete, but are your deleted scenes, did they ever make the cut? Were they ever a bonus feature or somewhere on a DVD or anything to your knowledge? Is there, can we?
My God, I would love to know that, because I remember the scenes, crying by her bedside, at the big ball. And I would love to, now that Alan Parker is passed, I don't think so, but that would be amazing.
Yeah, I want to see them.
Yeah, we're gonna go on the hunt.
Yeah, we're gonna email Alan Parker, but unfortunately we lost him. So we'll figure this out. Okay, Olga, you, as you mentioned, you play Connie on the Netflix sitcom Blockbuster, created by Superstore and Brooklyn Nine-Nine's Vanessa Ramos, alongside Randall Park, JB Smoove. It's about the last Blockbuster video in Granville, Michigan. What were the pleasures of booking a series regular on a sitcom in the 2020s? And was it kind of trippy to be on a show about a Blockbuster video on a streamer that arguably killed the video store?
Yeah, that was so bizarre.
I was like, wait, did this originally air on Netflix? And I was like, oh, it did. And I was like, I'm into it. I was watching it, but I was like, it's so weird that Netflix is the one that made this show.
Yeah, that was bizarre. But that show was a lot of fun, because I love doing that kind of comedy. It's just very quick and fun, and working with those great comedic actors, and shooting in Vancouver in the winter. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a con.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go, get up in the middle of the night to whatever, to use the bathroom or whatever. And I would just pull the curtain, and it would be pouring rain. It was raining every single day. And I was suicidal. But it helps when you're doing comedy.
Yeah.
To have that, that pain. I really enjoyed that show. And we didn't get a second season, even though the writers were already writing it, and they were ready to go. And it was a blast. I had a great time.
So speaking of Netflix, you also recurred on Orange is the New Black as Gloria's Aunt Lourdes. So she's raising Gloria's kids while she serves her time in prison, and your scenes are all with Selenis Leyva, who refers to your character as a Santera. So be honest with us here, how much did you learn about Santeria in order to ground the spirituality of this character? Did you research deeply, or did you just kind of fly in and shoot from the hip?
I didn't research deeply, no. I mean, I had a botanica right here, 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
That I kind of went in and, just studied some of the stuff they were selling. And I'm definitely not into that at all, by the way, at all. But I love playing a Santera, because I felt like she was powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I didn't do heavy duty research. No.
I love it. I like the honesty. I appreciate it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course you're the singing voice of another famous abuela. That's obviously the Disney musical Encanto from 2021. It's a project that reunited you, of course, with Lin-Manuel Miranda and your In the Heights and Brooklyn Nine-Nine co-star Stephanie Beatriz. It seems like playing the singing voice of a character is such a unique challenge as an actor. So did you work with the directors Byron Howard and Jared Bush or the other actress Maria Cecilia Botero to figure out your approach, or did you just have the creative freedom to sort of make your own acting choices in the songs?
Great question. Basically, that was a phone call from Lynn.
Okay. He was like, I got somebody.
Going, listen, I need a favor. I need this music. I need you to learn this music and record it ASAP. And I did work with the directors because I had to match her intonation, her accent, the way she talked. And so I had to kind of study how she spoke. And then, but actually the recording went pretty fast.
Okay.
Once I had that down, it was just very easy to record the songs.
That's an impressive feat, though. I mean, that's a very specific ask to match someone in that way.
Yeah. I've had an extensive voiceover experience. I've done jingles. I've done so many. I was the voice of the MTA.
Oh, you're leading us right there. We want to hear everything about that because that is like New York legend territory.
Totally.
That you were the voice of the MTA.
Hi, this is Olga Merediz for the MTA, going your way. And that was it. And I was the voice of the number. Was it the number 1 train? Next stop, 125th Street. Watch the closing doors for a while. So I've done a lot of voice work.
Yeah.
And with voice work, you have to kind of get into the character, just with the voice.
Right.
So I loved doing the Encanto grandmother and having to work on that, matching her style and the way she expressed herself.
Yeah. All right, Olga, we're entering the part of the show we call the rapid fire. It's rapid for us. It's so we can get in every last credit. If you need to take your time, please feel free.
I'm so bad at this. I just have to tell you, but go ahead.
Okay.
You can take your time. So
Yeah.
you're not going to be bad at it because you've been great at everything else. It's just for us to be a little bit like this, but you take your time.
All right, here we go. What was more difficult, pretending to see the CGI penguins that would be added in post for your scene in Mr. Popper's Penguins, or taking Kevin Spacey seriously in his K-Pax glasses?
Oh my God, the penguins. You mean easier or harder?
What was harder?
Oh, harder. K-Pax.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have those goofy glasses on. You do have direct scene work with him. You're a cop, I think, right? And you're like,
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, because Kevin Spacey. Okay, this is rapid fire. No, yeah.
No. Bring it.
Because Kevin Spacey, I know he's in a lot of trouble and I don't know anything about that side of him, but he just had me in stitches all the time. And he was basically directing me.
Got it.
Interesting.
Got it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, okay. You got it. You said it all.
Okay.
Okay. You appear in the bilingual indie dramedy Things I Forgot to Remember. You play Carmela, the matriarch of a Cuban family of immigrants whose youngest son, Roberto, is struggling with assimilation. Unfortunately, this film is hard to find, but we were able to find clips of it, and here's what we know. Blythe Danner co-stars, and the son character transports himself into like a very white bread Americana type sitcom. Like he enters the TV. Then you're in the TV. The film seems fun and weird, but also poignant. But it also seems like you got to do some heavy lifting in the film. Like, was it a wild ride?
That was such a wild ride that I'm actually writing a story of making that film.
Okay.
Because we shot it in Morocco, and they didn't know what they were doing, and the writer, who's never directed anything in his life, they made him the director. Okay, and they paid him with. Can I say this on your?
Yeah,
you can say whatever you want here.
They paid him with Moroccan boys Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not what I saw
And-
coming. Okay.
Yeah. And the producer was a cocaine addict, and so we didn't get paid, and it was in SAG litigation for years and years and years. And those poor Moroccan extras banging on the freaking hotel windows didn't get paid. And I looked Moroccan, but I was dressed as a Cuban. It was what year it was. We couldn't get a hold of our agents, and then we were faxing, get us out of here. Get us out of here.
It was 1999. So it was probably made in 98 or before then. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were in the middle of nowhere in the desert. And oh my God, I have so many stories about
Okay,
that.
I am obsessed.
And Blythe Danner said to me, Olga, let's just hope nobody sees this movie.
I was just saying, Damien kept saying to me, we were trying to piece together if we could find it on some weird site. And it seems like either the writer or the director, or maybe that's the same person, uploaded video footage from a TV screen that maybe he filmed with his phone onto his YouTube page. So that was the most of what we could find.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we need to hear these details. I'm excited for this, like a one-woman show.
Valium or Moroccan coffee. So he would be like this, and then he'd be like this, action. I mean, it was crazy.
It seemed like you were, I don't know if there's logic, but like it seemed like you're the mom in real life, and then you become the mom in the sitcom as well. But then Blythe Danner is the mom in the sitcom. Is that correct? Like, it's like.
Blythe Danner was the mom in the American white family.
Got it. Okay.
I was the mom in the Cuban family.
Okay.
If you have a link or a DVD, I would like to watch it. And I can't wait to hear your story or read about it, or if you perform it live, I want to hear the whole story.
So many stories, unbelievable stories. Like, for example, when the extras who had never worn Western clothing saw themselves in Western clothing for the first time, they were like looking at themselves like,
right. What is this?
With a ponytail and lipstick.
Yeah.
And they were like looking at themselves like, what do I have? I mean, it was so crazy. I can't even.
Why did it film in Morocco? It was cheaper to film there?
Because the producer, the cocaine addict, he, whatchamacallit, he knew the king of Morocco.
Oh my God. Okay.
It gets better and better, actually.
Yeah. You got to do a one woman 54.
You know what? I'm thinking I should do that. It should just be about that movie because I have so many stories.
Yeah. Let us know when it is. We want to come. I'm obsessed.
I will.
Okay. Olga, you play the mom of one of the violin playing children in Music of the Heart. 2 questions. Did Wes Craven actually film in Carnegie Hall? Actually 3. How long was that day for you being in the audience? And how many takes did old Meryl Streep require for her violin playing? Okay.
No, we did not shoot in Carnegie Hall. Oh. Wes Craven, he would only do horror films, but he said, I will not do another horror film unless you let me do this film.
Oh.
Madonna was supposed to play it.
Right.
He didn't want Madonna. And so Meryl Streep, who is the sweetest person on earth. I don't know how many hours. But I loved working with her. Yeah.
You're very good in it. And honestly, it's like a breath of fresh air that Wes Craven did that movie. I was sort of shocked.
Yeah, it was, he begged the studio for, please let me do something else.
Did Madonna know that you were attached? Like, were you and Madonna attached at the same time? Or it was like Madonna was never actually attached? And Madonna was like, let me get Olga in here.
No, I did the reading of it when it was Madonna. Right. And when it was time to, file in to do the reading, she goes, I said, yeah, we did Evita. Oh yeah, you have like a German name.
Oh God.
Yeah, Olga. Oh yeah, Olga. Remember the Cuban? And anyway, she didn't remember me.
Okay, Olga, last question, and it's an important one. You appear as a guest judge on season 7 of Throwdown with Bobby Flay, where you get to sample the competing Cuban sandwiches prepared by Chef Nick Vasquez and Bobby Flay. You and your fellow judge both voted that Chef Nick was the winner. Be honest, Did Bobby Flay really prepare his own Cuban sandwich? And did the producers egg you on in favor of one chef over the other?
They did not egg me on. Flay did prepare his own sandwich, and it was not good.
I think you said something like, "Oh, it's modern, pulled
It was
pork."
very modern. It was just like he had a lot of, stuff in there that just didn't, it was not a Cuban sandwich.
Right.
And that Cuban sandwich that Nick made was so good. I stayed after and I ate the whole thing.
Love you. Do you have an opinion about, like, is there a great where's the best Cuban sandwich in New York City? Do you have an opinion of that? If I'm asking you.
Well, the last time I ate a Cuban sandwich was when I did that, because they're very fattening and I need all the help I can get. There's a place, but I haven't tried it. It's on 8th Avenue and 50 something. It's called Guantanamera.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I think their sandwiches are pretty good there.
You're non-committal about it, though, because you haven't even tried it. So I don't know.
No, I haven't even tried it. I have to go try one.
Okay. Olga Merediz, this has been an absolute hoot, a total pleasure. Thank you for your honesty and your humor. What a great way to spend the day.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
When I talked about Olga being real, I really don't know how many actors we've heard say to us, like, you do show 8 shows a week. You get tired of the music. It's fucking boring after a while. And you're like, honestly, that's real. No matter how good it is a marathon what these actors do on stage. And her talking about Galt McDermott and the music of the human comedy being so unique and the harmonies being really difficult and incredible. That's a compliment to his work, and also just like the grind that Broadway actors do. 8 shows a week, singing Mamma Mia 8 shows a week. I love Mamma Mia. I love it. I don't have to sing it 8 shows a week, and I would be exhausted probably too at the end of it. No matter how good the earworm is, it's a job. It's a tough job. So I just was into her being real about that.
Imagine the way you live your life with having like we call it a survival job, and then like laying on the floor at the end of the night, and you're just like, oh my God, like, this is so horrible. And then imagine you're doing that, but you're in a dressing room caked in makeup, and you're like, one day more, and you're like listening to like the speaker in your dressing room like play the song you're not in, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, my lower back hurts. I want to go home and go to sleep. I have to do this shit tomorrow. I'm losing my voice. I have a sinus infection. Thank God they're paying for me to get PT, but like, do I have PT because I'm like on a raked stage? Like, it is like, I love theater, and because we are New Yorkers and we are just like, recovering or former theater kids, that's like, I always have a special place for the theater. But I will say, like, one interesting thing that has happened for me in the last like 6 months maybe is like there was like a 2-month string where I saw like so much theater. I saw like and Juliet and something else and a play and Bat Boy, and some of that stuff was great and some of it wasn't, but I was just like, I am sick of seeing theater, and it's like, I can only imagine what it's like to like be in it, you know? This project does give me an appreciation for film and TV actors and that medium in a new and different way. I still love the theater, and I still I feel like it is my first love, but I do have an appreciation for it and also understand why it is like I don't want to say easier, but it is like a different monster that your body is actually like metabolizing and having to deal with, like the physical like strenuousness.
Yeah. I mean, it's when I think of, it's like you're an athlete. I think that's
Completely.
what actors say that talk to us. And it is impressive. And the older I get and the more that I feel my body aching, the more I think like, oh, you are choosing to come back to Broadway. Like June Squibb chose to come back to Broadway and do 8 shows a week in Marjorie Prime. And that is incredible. Like, what a feat. Just for like the human body, the human brain, all of it. But like, it's a job and it's exhausting. And New York City winters are no joke. So I just really love when you get down to the nitty gritty where you can like laugh about Madonna not remembering your name.
I loved it.
And then also be like,
you have a German name?
oh my God, Madonna.
What are you going to pay for, Olga? Like, none of it was disparaging. I felt like I feel like she was being candid with us and it was funny, and I think she didn't care. Yeah. But I feel like I also like it doesn't make me feel differently about Madonna, because I feel like Madonna was also like being real, but also like was being generous and stuff. Also, I know you didn't say it in the moment, but I know you were loving the little bit of intel about Melanie Griffith being in close quarters to the filming of Evita.
Love it. Not seeing Melanie Griffith in Chicago is one of my life's great regrets. And knowing that, she was, oh God, it just, So much goodness around the Antonio Banderas, Melanie Griffith saga.
Are they still together?
No, not together, but I think they're still friendly. Not, don't quote me on that. But regardless to say, Olga Merediz, such a star, so funny, so warm and generous. And I really hope that the documentary that she made, we're going to link out to it, and that hopefully we can all see it soon. I recommend it highly. Folks, we love Olga. And we love you for joining us here on You Might Know Her From. If you're listening, it's good for you to know that this podcast is brought to you by Duck You Dragon. That's a product of Ann Rodeman and Damian Bellino. That's us, independently produced. And anything that we don't put in out of our own pockets is courtesy of the Patreon. All of our patrons, thank you so much for supporting us there. That's where you can find all of us shooting the shit, talking about the comings and goings, doing weekly recaps of Traitors, or we did Interview with a Vampire. We do movie recaps. We did it Just Like That. If there's things you want to hear us talk about, send it to us on the Patreon.
And also, folks, all that music you hear underscoring each and every episode of You Might Know Her From is courtesy of Gang. Gang is from Philly. Gang is 3/4 women. We love Gang. You can stream their music wherever you listen to your bop.
And maybe someday I'll find those clips that were cut out of Evita and be able to put them in the show notes. I'm going to do my best to find them. But until then, everything else we talk about in the episode, you can find in the show notes. I put it at the bottom of the episode description, and it's where we just archive every single thing we talk about on this show. Dive in.
What are your feelings about comedones? Like a comedone on your skin.
What is a comedone?
It's,
isn't a comedone the thing that you use to remove things?
No, it's like that's called like a...
Oh, comedone extractor.
Exactly.
Okay. So what the comedone is what?
It's
is
like
it like
a
Amelia?
Exactly. It's like similar to Amelia, but I think Amelia is more calcified. Like you need to like maybe get it removed. Whereas a comedone, I think, can turn over itself maybe. I don't know. I'm like very into the idea of like people's skin being covered in like calcified sesame seeds, which is like and anyway, I feel like I'm like in a whole skin thing right now, and the weather in New York, particularly at the time of this recording, is just like a beast. And so I am trying to maintain. I'm doing a lot of petroleum jelly on all the dry patches.
You're slugging,
but only selective slugging.
Okay.
Slugging to do like mostly my nose because I feel like I'm having a lot of dryness around my nose.
But it's hard because then you put Vaseline on your face, and then it's like you're gonna get little things too that you're gonna have to pick out, right?
I don't know, babe. Maybe you're gonna pick them out for me.
I'm ready to. I do have a Dr. Pimple Popper set of. I didn't understand what a comedone was. Now I know it's comedone extractor. Yeah, I'm very into it. And now that I know that we're talking about this in front of my cell phone, it's gonna push me more videos of this on TikTok of people coming out of ears, coming out of eyebrows. I just got a cyst on some man's forehead, and his girlfriend was like, let's see how long this takes before my boyfriend goes to the ER for the cyst on his head. This is the kind of content I get pushed. And yes, I am into it.
I think that's a blessing.
Yep.